Good Game Spawn Point, the show for gamers by gamers. I'm Hex.
And I'm Barjo.
And I'm Darren.
Coming up on the show this week, we check out the brain-bending Bob Came in Pieces for the PC.
We continue to dissect the innards of games by investigating the health bar. And Darren here will analyse your verdicts on RuneScape in our one-face review.
RuneScape is the world's most popular free-to-play MMO, according to the Guinness Book of World Records.
But first, Capcom's coolest characters go head-to-head in Tatsunoko vs. Capcom for the Nintendo Wii.
Wah!
Don't do that.
Yeah. No. Don't mock me.
Few things are better than seeing your favourite heroes and fighters pitted against each other in an all-out verse mode. The latest to hit Capcom's Versus series is Tatsunoko vs. Capcom Ultimate All-Stars.
Tatsunoko vs. Capcom features characters from Darkstalkers, Street Fighter, Mega Man, and more. And whilst most of the Tatsunoko characters look fairly similar, all their powers differ greatly, and they also have their own original and unique super moves. And of course, Capcom's signature favourites make an appearance.
There was some debate over Capcom's decision to launch this game on the Wii platform exclusively, but after putting in some serious playtime, I actually think it sits quite well on the console. The game gives you the option to use the Wii Remote with the nunchuck attachment or the classic controller, or you can dig up your old GameCube controller and use that.
It's worth trying them out because they are very different, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I was quite surprised. I usually find the Wii Remote quite awkward to use unless I'm using it as a sword or a tennis racket. But after switching to the much treasured GameCube controller, I actually found it a lot harder to land those super moves.
Really? I was the opposite. I preferred the old GameCube one.
Yeah, of course, having a controller in each hand increases the chance of injury if you get excited. I am so sorry.
You get to choose two characters to fight with, and it's worth picking ones which complement each other and make up for their weaknesses. The game really encourages you to just attack constantly with lots of ground and aerial dashes. Super moves are impressive with a seriously devastating amount of damage to be dealt, and that can make for some seriously satisfying ponage.
A feature that's new to the series is the addition of Baroque. It's tricky to master, but the idea is this. You can power up and perform a devastating combo in exchange for sacrificing the red portion of the life meter that's normally recoverable by switching characters. It can be executed by pressing the attack button and the partner button simultaneously while in the middle of an attack.
Once you've gone Baroque all over someone, your character will then start flashing, and then you have the opportunity to use a combo or a super move. These can be quite tricky to maneuver, and I think some may have problems with it, but the hardcore gamers will relish the opportunity to maximize their damage.
I love the choice of characters in this game, Badge. They were so unique and a lot of fun to mix and match with one another. My favourites were Morrigan, a succubus with bat wings coming out of her head, and that tiny little girl character that massacred her opponents with a broom and happy rainbows of death, and giant Lego Cheese Man.
You can also negotiate ranged fighters with someone who's more up in your face. And when you do that with someone like, say, Saki, with someone who's like right up there, you get some really juicy moments.
The campaign is short and not particularly difficult, with the exception of the last boss, Yami, the third sphere in a series of giant spheres with epic appendages of death. Seriously, ouch. Although I have to say, as last bosses go, these were pretty lame. With all the originality of the playable characters, I don't want to finish the game by fighting a giant ball.
Yeah, that sphere was a pain to fight, and I felt a bit stupid fighting it. But for me, fighting games are all about the versus mode, and this is the most fun I've had in a fighter in a while.
I agree. There's so much going on at any one time, you can happily button mash your way to victory. But for the more experienced gamers, planning attacks and choosing the right character combos will really make for a satisfying fighting experience. I'm giving it 8.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
I went nuts with the Baroque feature. I think just as a fighting mechanic, it works. Also, if you're not familiar with a whole bunch of the characters here, you'll have a lot of fun just exploring what each one of them are capable of. I liked it too. I'm giving it 8.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Okay, Gamerinos, we've got our brainy gear on, which can only mean one thing. It's time to answer more of your questions and ask Good Game. What's up first, Badge?
First up, it's Sean from Inverleigh in Victoria.
Hi guys, just wondering if you know of any naval combat games that use modern warships where you control the ships. For shizzle, Sean, a couple of good ones would be Battle Stations Midway and Battle Stations Pacific. These are great real-time strategy games where you can control a whole fleet of aircraft carriers, destroyers, subs and battleships, jumping between them and controlling them individually. It's a great blend of action and strategy and it plays really well online.
For a slightly more realistic take on naval warfare, there's PT Boats, Knights of the Sea. This game has highly detailed damage models and more accurate ballistics. The Silent Hunter series is also a good bet if you want a bit of submarine action.
And if you want a really hardcore simulation, there's Harpoon. It's so accurate that lots of naval academies around the world use it to train the admirals of tomorrow. Moving on to this from Josh in Victoria. What is better, Avatar the movie or Avatar the game on PS3?
This is clearly a trick question because they're both a bit meh.
Well, I quite like them.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I mean, if you get the game though, make sure you play as a Na'vi, as I agree the soldier campaign is a bit lame.
But as a general rule, beware of the movie game tie-in. The chances are high that it's going to be a big, steaming pile of...
That's it for this week. As always, if you've got something you think we can help with, why not jump onto our website and send us an email?
I was going to say sheep poo.
You were not.
I am, it's a kid's show. This week, we're talking about...
Yes?
Health. Not literally, though. I mean, video game health. If you think about it, it's pretty weird because characters in games aren't even real. How can they get sick?
It's simple, Barger. Health exists to tweak the difficulty, to balance the gameplay.
That's right, because without some danger, games just wouldn't be exciting, and a health bar gives you room to make a mistake or two. It sounds like such an obvious idea, but ages ago games didn't have health bars, you only had lives. One hit was enough to wipe you out. One of the first games to have health was Super Mario Bros. Eating a mushroom didn't only increase your size and strength, it meant you could take a hit before dying. Ghosts and Goblins worked in pretty much the same way, except that if you got hit, the armour protecting Sir Arthur would crumble and he'd have to run around in his underwear.
Sensors detect fail.
Exactly. These days things are a little classier. In The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks, you may lose pieces of heart when you get hit, but at least you don't lose your pants. With the health bar, game designers have an incredible tool to tweak how hard a game is to play. They only have to change a few numbers in the game code and suddenly it's that much easier to lose health and die. Give the enemies health bars and things get even harder. Fighting games are all about health bars. Grind the other guy's health down to zero and the winner is you.
And vice versa.
As we saw with Tatsunoko vs Capcom, health isn't always something you hoard. Some games will let you sacrifice a small amount of health for a wicked attack. If that's what it takes to finish off your opponent, then I say go for it. Let me guess, Darren, you always play as Seth.
Negative. Everyone knows that Sagat is God tier.
As for getting your health back, well, you can do that by grabbing a health pack or power-up, which are typically scattered about in limited supply. There are even some games where your health will just gradually re-energize itself if you stay out of harm's way.
Oh, you've given me a virus!
Sorry, Darren.
Dirty human.
Maybe put the push beam on the side of the ship. I can try again from a different angle.
Incorrect. Shh. That is incorrect. The part must be placed on top of the ship to solve this problem.
Darren,
Yes.
well, it takes the fun out of it when you keep butting in like that.
Apologies. Noblet.
When it comes to puzzle games, there's nothing I like more than whiling away an afternoon, racking my brains for the answer to that one problem that'll just get me through to the next level. The problem is, it's hard to stop there. Bob Came in Pieces is a puzzle game you can download for the PC that'll get your brain ticking as you try to help Bob, an alien from out of space, recover the pieces of his ship so he can fly home.
This is reminiscent of the plot for the classic game Pikmin on GameCube and Wii, which was designed by Shigeru Miyamoto, the creator of Mario, Wii Fit, and Zelda.
Awesome. As you go collecting parts for Bob's ship, you'll be presented with a puzzle, often in the form of an obstruction that you'll need to solve to continue on. There are repair stations all over the level so that you can add and remove parts to your ship to help you. Darren, it kind of reminded me a bit of Spore, how you can change your ship to help you do different things, or World of Goo with those physics-based puzzles that can get quite hard towards the end.
Is Bob the ship or the alien?
Darren, Bob's the alien inside the ship. Didn't you watch the opening movie?
Oh, how dull.
I like the way that you can access the ship builder just by pressing enter at any time. It saves any unnecessary flying around. And you can save different ship configurations to help you with puzzles later on. Bob Came in Pieces has that magic formula. It's easy to play but tricky to master, and it'll definitely get a few brain cells ticking. We had a good time, didn't we, Darren, working together through those puzzles to help get Bob home?
Affirmative.
If you like puzzle games, this one's definitely worth a download. I'm just not sure I'd play it again, though. I mean, I definitely lost a few afternoons to puzzle-filled bliss, so, I'm giving it 7.5 out of 10 rubber chickens. Let's see.
May I suggest something?
All right, go on then.
It's time for the Good Game Spawn Point One Face Review, where you, the viewers, get to send in your verdict on what you think about a popular game, whether it's awesome, average, or craptastic. And this week we asked for your verdict on RuneScape, an online free role-playing game for PC that's been going strong since 2002.
I have level 99 in herb lore.
A robot that's into gardening?
Actually, it's for potion making. If you're interested in gardening, may I suggest the farming and woodcutting skills?
Fascinating. Moving on.
RuneScape was created in 2001 by two brothers, Andrew and Paul Gower, who got the first version of the game up and running when they were living with their parents. Set in the medieval fantasy world of Galanor, the game is played entirely from a web browser. You create an avatar and then set about leveling up skills such as summoning, strength, magic, and herb lore.
Herb lore.
There's also questing, items to trade, monsters to slay, and real-time player versus player combat.
There can potentially be over 340,000 RuneScape players online at any one time, though there are actually 10 million registered player accounts.
Well, that number would probably include a few cheaters who use bot programs to level up their characters.
And your problem is?
All right, I think it's time for the viewer verdict on RuneScape. Darren, have you got all the one-face reviews ready for processing?
Affirmative, Barjo. Starting analysis. Processing nudes. Processing nudes. I have the verdict. The viewing spawn think RuneScape is overwhelmingly awful.
Well done, gamers. Such rigorous scientific methods, such as the one-face review, cannot be argued with. Next week, we want to know what you think of Wii Fit and the Nintendo Balance Board, so hit up the website here and submit your one-face review. Don't forget to vote with your thumbs.
I don't have thumbs.
You've got little hand things.
They're, well, yeah, they're much better than thumbs. They're super cyber pincers, 10,000 times as efficient as mere human thumbs.
Can you do this? Can't. I can do this.
I'm doing it right now, faster than your human eyes can perceive.
Well, gamers, that's your lot.
We'll be back same time next weekend, taking a look at Super Monkey Ball's Step and Roll and why so many games have crates.
The start-to-crate ratio is considered to be the most effective means of
Okay,
measuring
Darren,
any...
we'll talk about crates next week. Don't forget to drop by the Good Game Spawn Point forums and submit your one-face review.
May all your games be good ones. Hex out.
Barjo out.
Darren out. So anyway, from a philosophical standpoint, all pixels in games are miniature crates. So if you think about it, every single game is made up of crates.
He's going to go on for hours.
We have to go.
Microscopic, nanoseismic. And each year, more crates, more and more, widescreen, high def, 1080p. So many crates, cylindrical ones. Many consider barrels to be just another subspecies of crate.